Hey, good day. A beautiful day, not like the last recording that I did in the rain. Today the sun is shining, it is gorgeous out, and I'm just getting a walk in before I start my clients for the day. And this is the second series of Walk With Me, and it is number 12, which means that I am coming to an ending of the Walk With Me videos. They will be complete in the playlist and will stay there for you to be able to listen to over and over again, or for whenever you feel, a need to just stop in and one may be popping up for you. I have to get back to my podcast and completing my podcast on my other YouTube channel, which is She Is More Than Existing, which I have done nothing with in a while, since before I moved, actually. I think is the last podcast that I posted, and time to get back to those as well. They are another commitment that I have, and I want to get those posted into a podcasting system somewhere. So this will be my last one with you guys in this Walk With Me series for now. I'm going to continue to walk, this is one of the areas where my walks will be committed to me and not to work. And as much as I love sharing, I realize that I have to make one of my places where I invest into me has to be this walk, has to be my exercise, my healthy living, and pulling back out my yoga mat and getting back on the mat is so important. All as a beautiful little sparrow just came and landed. Look, can you see him? Oh, it's not a sparrow, it's a woodpecker. A little woodpecker. Oh, no, I think it's a sparrow. He's speaking to me. Look at him. Beautiful. I love nature, and so I want to be able to get back into some of those things, and the reason why is mindfulness, to be very mindful of my practice and what I do for me. So that's going to be very important as a yellow and black feather appears in front of me. So, wow, I'll take that to be a sign. So my last video, you may have watched and thought Corey's lost her freaking mind and she's gone crazy. No, I have not. I was sharing a truth and sharing what happens when we, when we let ourselves get in those moments in our day and in our times when we just feel like when we fall in that hole, when we get in that place, when we let our thoughts override our faith, and that's what happens. So it took me days to sit on that video before I shared it, but I knew I can't pretend and live in an imaginary world for people that pretends like my world is good and great every day, and it's not. And that this work is, people always say, I want to do what you do, I want to do this work, and I ultimately never made a choice to give up a lot of my other work and a lot of what I do. It really was not a choice, and to give up and lose a good 80-90% of the income that I used to make, not a choice. But it was a call to action to save my body and to save pretty much my life, I guess, in a way, but also then the pandemic and all the changes that happened there. So all this so-called free time is not free time. It's in recreating and reshaping and restructuring. So I always say, if you have a consistent paycheck in your life, say thank you and take the blessing of it, and still work towards your dreams and your goals. It doesn't mean always that you take those big leaps of faith and jump out and jump into the unknown. I just want to really put that out there for people, because it's not always so glamorous, and it's, this is my way, and I'm walking my way into becoming whatever I am to become and whoever I'm meant to be, and that's exactly what you have to do. And really truly appreciate the things that you have. So today I just want to talk quickly and for a moment about guilt and how I have been relentlessly chasing down and living apologetic my whole life. That even the fact that I can't contribute in my own household the same, I even live apologetic to my partner. And that was brought up very clearly to me. Instead of accepting the support and the love, I have to keep apologizing that I'm an inconvenience in someone's life. And so for me, and I've been doing a lot of writing about this, and you'll see this writing come up in one of my future books here. In it, I see myself as a young girl in a makeshift courtroom at the age of, I don't know, 12, 13 years old, very young, standing on a rocky, rickety stage, having to be held accountable with my hand on a Bible, swearing to tell the truth about something that I barely remembered, and being held into that accountability to kind of rat out people after a experience that a 12, 13-year-old maybe should not have been in, but she was 12, 13 years old and she was curious, and I had almost died. And in that courtroom, in that moment, I realized that I had never left that courtroom. I've never left that stand. I've never taken my hand off of that Bible, of taking that oath of being honest, and I've been, apologetic to kind of anyone that I may have harmed or hurt, and that shamed, guilty girl that was guilty of almost dying by drinking alcohol at a young age, and then guilt laid on me that wasn't really mine. And we carry that in our body. My mind had long healed it. That was my big transformational walk. That's what I've been releasing this whole time. And when it all came so clearly to me Sunday morning after Saturday's walk, I realized how much of that apologetic life, as I have been relentlessly living apologetic. If I succeed, if I do well, accomplishing stuff, I'm undeserving. I'm still that girl that was on that stand. She didn't need to be punished any more than she was already punished. She was put to the dirt. And everybody abandoned her and walked away because no one else wanted to get into trouble. And one man came along and risked himself in trouble to save me, and I never forget him. And he's always on my list of my list of gratitudes, because he's someone who did the right things for the right reasons. But I had felt nothing but shame and guilt my whole life, and I left that situation and I jumped into beds and relationships and unhealthy situations for a lot of my life, with playing in the fields with shadows, or as they used to say, sleeping with the devil, right? Like you lay in the bed of what you think you're worth in life, and I don't mean just in someone's bed, I mean in life. And so you get into those situations and times and you put your life in the negative, and you place yourself in this negative way, and it's like no matter how much you're still growing, God still takes you on your journey of the good stuff, but you're always trying to give it back and trying to give it out and trying to say, I'm not who you think I am. They already told me who I was. you know, I was this person, I did this, I did that, and you could see all these things that you did, and then you see your age, and you see how old you are. So it's funny because my neighbor has their Halloween stuff out, and I'm like, I actually let that teenager go, and I didn't realize how much power and how I was still inside of that makeshift courtroom. And I've always had myself on the stand. I've always been judging myself on my character, on if I've done enough, if I've spoke the truth, if I've been honest, if I've been like really truly holding myself to that to such a degree. You don't realize sometimes that what we do as thinking we're doing the right things as parents, or that we're talking to children, or that we're putting children in the line of fire of what they're going to believe they're worth as they grow older, or you know, taking a stand sometimes and putting your own child in the line of fire to take that stand is not always the healthy thing to do. And so I walked past these rest in peace this morning, and I started to chuckle. I don't know if you see them. And so I'm like, keep out. And I really truly let all of the ghosts of the past go and release them. And I don't know what's to come. I don't know where I'm going, but I really recognize that I'm not on the stand. I'm on a stage, not a stand. I'm on a platform. It's not a stage, it's not a judge and jury spot. But the moment I started to step out and the judgment started to come in on me, and I started to be judged and criticized and, you know, ridiculed and critiqued and all of those things, or attacked, I realized that I was back in that courtroom. I was back in that, what was a Girl Guide camp, a Girl Guide club years ago, where I used to go to brownie camps and Girl Guide places, and I used to love getting dressed up and being a part of belonging in those places. Had then turned into a courtroom where I stood on a stage and I took that oath. And so my oversharing, my need to make everybody happy, to please, to not let anybody feel like they're being left out or being guilted or shamed, really took a whole new level once I stepped up and into the public eye in such a way that I became even more apologetic than ever before. And anyone that was even trying to help me or do good, I'm apologetic to them. And so to live unapologetic, as I have just finished writing my 5th book, I'm in the 6th book and just wrote down the title to the 7th book, I just recognize, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And, you know, are you done living this relentlessly chasing down that guilty story? And so as I'm returning now to the She Is podcast, I'm stepping into some deep-seated new truths, a new journey. And I would say it's almost like I've also set my soul free of everything. I'm sure the soul within me was put with this human so that we could take this journey, knowing full well that I had this innate strength to overcome, to shed all the layers, to let the light shine. And so illuminating and letting my light shine, and knowing that there's the cleanup and things that are needing to be done now I don't have to feel so guilty. I don't have to feel shame, and I can accept the support, the love, the contributions, the people that are trying to help me, and I don't have to feel guilty because I'm more than enough. And I'm not just existing. I'm really recognizing that how much I do matter in this scheme of this life, and I'm unapologetic that I have a condition that I cannot physically work anymore, and I believe that was part of God's plan, was to teach me that I am not here anymore to be a slave, to the work, to the physical hard labor job that I did to stand up and to be there, that I'm to care for myself in a much more gentler, careful way. And I want to share this because I want you to know that that's within you. But you'll never find it in that material world. You do have to spend the time with you. And I have committed the last 4 years of my life to taking the dark night of the soul journey, to really get to the root, the bottom, the cause of anything that has been affecting me, my relationships, my social awareness, to life, my self-awareness, really truly connecting, and into self-management and becoming the best version of me, and not for the world, for me. And that's what I want you to do for you. And that's where More Than Existing really started, was you get to think for you, and to know that you can have your own thoughts and your own views, and you can all live in the same house and have a different version, a different story. And you are entitled to that. It doesn't matter. No one walked in your shoes or experienced the life that you experienced and how you experienced it. And sometimes you don't realize that you may have been put inside of a situation, a relationship, a place and time where you are actually still living from, because you imprisoned yourself in that time and you never felt the freedom after. In my experience, for me, I felt like I went to jail, and I have placed myself inside of that jail, waiting to be punished, waiting to go to jail, always, and as if I was some sort of prisoner wearing these numbers. And that goes deep, and I realized it went all the way back into some Holocaust journeys for me, some past lives, and way back. And I've never walked in anyone else's shoes, but I know my soul has walked in other human bodies, and together we're walking into the light of love. And I don't know where it goes from here, and I don't know what it looks like, but I'm willing to face the challenges I'm willing to walk into the light instead of walking into any more personal hells. I'm done with hell. I'm done with that journey, and I'm ready. And I hope you're ready to also start really truly honoring that we are here to create our heaven on earth. We don't have to keep staying living apologetic, that we can live unapologetic, set the shame, the guilt, the frustrations, the anger, set it all free, and set yourself free. This is your journey, this is your life, and I will continue to walk with me, and I encourage you to keep walking with you. I love you all, and I will see you in my other videos. I will see you in my other YouTube channel, and I will post that other YouTube channel in the link below. And stay following, stay supporting, and know that I will continue to keep walking this journey. I love you all.